What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest channel. And if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. It is free, unlike DirecTV. And go ahead and like this. And it's like walking into the room and hitting the light switch. We just want to go ahead and brighten up the place. It's pretty early in the morning when I am recording this, so forgive the sound of my voice. Just trying to keep it on the low in terms of the quietness because it's pretty quiet in the place right now. And I have had a good night's rest. But I wanted to talk about this interview that Tasha K did on her app with an alleged victim of Larry Reid, who has the channel Larry Reid Live. He calls his followers LRLers. And, I wanted to talk about this because I actually listened to some commentary and some commenters on the Armand Wiggins show because he had some commentary just overall talking about the fact that Tasha K was interviewing this alleged victim. And, I enjoyed Armand's commentary. I am subscribed to his channel. I'm also subscribed to Unwind with Tasha K, and I'm also one of her app subscribers. I have been from the very beginning. And what I find sometimes when it comes to people who give their opinions about, well, I don't know why somebody subscribed to this channel if they know how this is all entertainment. I don't know any of these people. I probably never will. Just like a lot of people watch Love and Hip Hop or whatever. Like a lot of the people who are on those shows, their actions are questionable, but you watch that. But when it comes to people on YouTube, you are questioning why someone chooses to listen to someone's commentary. I'm not sitting and listening to someone as if they are preaching the Bible. It's just entertainment. And I know where to cut things off and I know where to pick things up. I know how to let some things go in one ear and out of the other. And then I know how to really look at some things and, pick through it and comb through it with a fine tooth comb. And, if that's even necessary. But this stuff is not a part of my personal life. Praise God for that. So it's just stuff that to me, I think some people like it, when it comes to Tasha K, I'll just say this. I find that there are a lot of people that have such vitriol for this woman because of something that was not even between them. It was between her and a rapper by the name of Cardi B. And whether you wanted to see her win or lose, some people have taken it to the extreme and they hate the fact that she still owes Cardi B money and she needs to pay Cardi B her money and Cardi B needs to take her house and this and that and the other. I don't know why some people really wish for someone else's downfall, whether you agreed with their actions or not. I've had people that have done things personally to me that have really been detrimental, honestly. And I'm not going into all of that right now, but I don't even wish for those people downfall. I really wish that they learn their lesson, whether I have something to do with it or not. Probably not, because I'm not going to waste my time taking people to court who don't have money and just get a paper judgment that I can't collect on. So that's, where I'll leave that. But when it comes to this situation, and I was hearing some of the people that were calling, and Armand said this. He said, I don't know if the allegations are true. I don't know a whole lot about the backstory when it comes to this situation. But if Larry Reid indeed did some things with children, I can't mess with him. I can't have anything to do with him because it's wrong. And I appreciated that. I appreciated him saying that because there are some people who will stand with people right or wrong. And in a situation like that, that would be wrong. Just like there are some people who are still standing for the singer. We know that sang one of the songs, Step in the Name of Love, who is serving a prison sentence right now and is probably going to get some more time added. There were these recordings that came out, and he's wishing for Tasha K to go to prison because of some information that was shared with her. And Tasha K talked about it. She said, well, that investigation had been said and done. I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't pay for the information. Someone brought it to me. But he really thinks that I deserve to go to prison because he still did what he did. Me getting that information is not going to cause him to get a new trial. But when I watched that. I believe her name was Natasha Simeon or Simone, when she released those recordings of the prison phone calls. I just, for the sake of saking, went to the comment section to see what some people were saying. And there are people in there praying, oh man, just keep your head up. God is with you. You're going to get out of this, whatever. And I'm like, are you people delusional? But again, people have the right to feel however they want to feel. It's just weird when it comes to that situation. But yet, when it comes to Tasha K, these people really expect her to go down because of some information that she received about his prison phone calls, about who's putting money on his commissary, who's coming to visit him, this and that and the other. And that to me is strange. But again, going back to the people that believe that Tasha K did something wrong in this situation when it comes to her interviewing the alleged victim of Larry Reid. I watched the interview. It's part one. It's called Pastors, Prophet, or Peddle, if you get my drift. And listen, I'm going to say I don't know all of the details about the case, but I do remember there was some years ago, there was another YouTuber that was being sued by Larry Reid because he had, I guess, spoken to the same guy and gotten this information, and he was putting this information out on YouTube. I didn't follow that guy and I didn't follow the story. I just got little bits and pieces from other people that were talking about it. But at the time, I was subscribed to Larry Reid's channel. I'm honestly still subscribed to his channel, but I don't follow him and I don't watch him anymore. And honestly, I have I have some thoughts and opinions about Larry Reid, which is one of the reasons why I don't follow him anymore. I just hadn't taken the time to unsubscribe from his channel because for me, it's just not that serious when it comes to I can't, I'm unsubscribing from this person. I don't know. I just haven't yet. But if he indeed is the P word, I probably will go ahead and hit that unsubscribe button. And my little old unsubscribe probably won't affect him in any way, shape, or form. But here's what I wanted to say. Larry Reid, I'm actually going to go to his website. So let's see here. Share screen. All right. Let's go to his website here. So, about Larry Reid, this is his website. This is not his YouTube channel. It says multimedia personality, comedic commentator, songwriter, okay, recording artist, and spiritual leader. It says Larry Reid is the founder of the MBN network, the owner of LDR Enterprises based out of Atlanta, Georgia, and a senior spiritual leader of Reformation Church of Atlanta. In addition to continually authoring books, he has dedicated his life to educating and entertaining others through music, the arts, media, and publications. His industry knowledge and business savvy as an artist and songwriter received recognition throughout the gospel industry, including gospel's most prestigious recognition from the Stellar Awards in 2016. Thousands tune in to Larry Reid Live Weekly to laugh and learn as he comedically commentates on all that is happening in our world. He's the executive producer of Reading Things My Way, viewed weekly by his global subscriber base. He's often the featured guest on many major television and radio networks and continues to be a sought after voice for special events regularly. Okay, maybe so. But here's what I wanted to say regarding Larry Reid. He's got a link on his website for Patreon. And the Patreon says you must be 18 plus to view this content. I'm going to say something about his Patreon. During the time of the C word, when things were going rampant in 2020, he had this guy that came on his YouTube channel a good bit, and I guess this is his mentor, and his name is Bishop Bernard Jordan. Now, he was sharing some things that I was interested in terms of health, nothing more. But this guy is known for selling prophecies. And when it comes to the church, when it comes to God, I have a true, genuine fear of God. I know a lot of people don't these days. Some people don't even believe in him. And hey, you have the right to feel however you want to feel. But I believe that there are so many people in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ and God that are using God for profit, acting as if they are a prophet. So they're using God for profit, claiming to be a prophet. And I think that is wrong. I didn't know anything about him prior to that, but when he was sharing some of the information, he was saying, "Oh, well, you've got to be on my Patreon to get this information." And I'm like, "Well, why should we have to pay for it?" But I tried it. I subscribed. I think it was 8.88. It was either 8. No, actually I'm wrong. This is what I want to say. It was $12 a month. But if you wanted to get a prophecy, you had to sow in the numbers, and meaning giving and offering to him in the numbers of $8.88 or more. And you would get these prophecies. And it's like, what? And also on his Patreon, he had explicit content. Like, because what Larry Reid does is, the bio was cute and cool for the sake of just, oh, this is who I am. But let's just be real. Dirt sells and sex sells. Okay. He did not grow to the numbers that he is at because he was just so comedically funny and spreading the gospel. He wasn't doing that. Larry Reid is very controversial and he's been sued before, and he shares information. He'll say, "Well, I'm not going to expose what isn't already out there, but once it's out there, I'm going to talk about it." And you have the right to do that, but don't act as if you grew by being integral, just encouraging, singing, songwriting, and being this, and being this, this funny pastor, and growing a church. That's not what he did. Okay, so he was doing that, right? And then he had some, I guess, people he exposed, and these people may have had sex tapes or something like that. I didn't watch any of that stuff because I wasn't interested in it. But in the Patreon, you could see that content and you could click on it. Now, if somebody is a pastor, can you imagine them having content like this and following this person? I couldn't. I couldn't. So I unsubscribed from his Patreon. I wasn't going to do it anymore. I definitely never sold any money to his ministry, quote unquote, to get a prophecy. I felt that that was really weird. But I, yeah, I had my questions. I just couldn't, I couldn't rock with that. And now he's threatening to sue Tasha K. I don't know if it's a bluff or he's actually already done it or not. I don't know. But what I will say about that is this, and it's actually no different than when Tasha K interviewed Charlemagne the God's alleged victim, Jessica, and then we heard that he was going to be suing Tasha K. Tasha K is interviewing these people. Whether people feel like she has a vendetta against him or not for doing so, she has the right to do so. She interviews people on her platform all the time. This is not anything new. So people are going to choose to watch it or not. So what I'm going to say is, with Larry Reid, instead of suing Tasha K because she interviewed this alleged victim, why not just, the people are going to like him are going to like him. Why not just come out and make statements about this stuff on a, because you said you have this global audience, on a global spectrum versus what you're doing right now by saying you're going to sue Tasha K. Because I listened to the interview and I don't know this guy. I don't know anything about him, but to me, he sounds credible. He sounds credible. And when it comes to the age thing, when people say things like, "Oh well, he was he was close to the age of consent, or he was already at the age of consent, or well, he knew what he was doing," that's victim blaming and victim shaming. And instead of wondering why in the world would this grown man, who was the pastor of a church, be sitting there jacking his meat off in front of this young guy, whatever his age was. I don't care if he was 85 years old. It's wrong. Okay. It's wrong. I just don't get that part. And then there's some people that are trying to give Larry Reid a pass and say, oh, well, he was getting money. And then when he cut him off, then that's when he came out. Why was he giving him money? To be quiet? Like those are the questions that I would have versus trying to just shut the guy up. And yeah, we get it. We know that there are some people that will try to take down someone once they feel they get to a certain point in status. But let's rewind to Jessica and the Charlemagne the God thing. I couldn't imagine being a victim of someone who is continuously increasing and growing, and I constantly am seeing this person. Not saying you're sitting there watching them, but in some ways you really can't avoid hearing about him. That would be hard for me too. And she didn't just come out and say what she said for the sake of, well, he's growing, so I'm going to say something about it. It was the fact that he discussed it. It was the fact that he discussed it. And I'm not going to go back into the archives of Larry Reid's videos, but Larry Reid talks a lot. He does. That's one of the reasons why I really didn't watch a lot of his content. I watched some of it, but I watched a lot of it because he is very long winded. And there were some things that he has said that I have heard him say. And I've heard him, I've heard the recordings on other people's platforms. If I can find it, and I'm not going to go just searching for it because it'll take a lot of my time to do that. I don't really have a whole lot of time for it. But if you guys find it, you let me know. He said that even if he did something wrong, he would never admit it. Somebody who says something like that, you have to be questioning, like, what in the world is going on? So there's this YouTuber, and I'm gonna pull up his page. I'm subscribed to his channel. His name is Sir Walter Jones, and he's done a number of videos. He does a lot of videos, a lot of content. I really like him. He is a pastor, but he's done a number of videos where he has discussed some things that Larry Reid has said and done. And some of them, they're pretty comical, but I say go to his channel, find his videos on Larry Reid, and you'll see a lot of things that he says too. And some people who see him, they may say, "Oh, well, he's just jealous because he doesn't have as many subscribers as Larry Reid has. He doesn't have as many followers." But here's his YouTube channel, the Sir Walter Jones Show. And he's done a number of videos where he has discussed Larry Reid, and some things that Larry Reid has said and done. And I'm Larry Reid he's just very questionable when it comes to some things that he has said and done. And one of my issues, I will say, with Larry Reid, I don't have a problem with anyone that is homosexual. What I do have a problem with is someone who is clearly homosexual, but you won't admit it. I remember I worked in a hair salon years ago. I was renting a space in a hair salon. The owner was a hairstylist and, a man. And I met him through another client. When I met him, I assumed that he was gay. His mannerisms, the way he spoke, and just the way he looked and was living, I assumed that he was. Again, I didn't care. What shocked me was when he said that he was married to a woman. I was like, whoa, really? Okay. And then over the years, like so many people said it, they were like, so and so, like, why won't he just admit it? We all know that he is. Like, straight guys don't go to gay bars. Like, he would tell stories about going to the gay bars and all that other stuff. And it was just very strange, right? Larry Reid has admitted to doing things sexually with men on his YouTube channel. So I'm not putting anything out there that he didn't say. He's admitted to doing things sexually with men, but he says that he is not gay. And that annoys me. Like any straight man that heard another man say that they have been doing things sexually with men would say that you are gay. But for you to say that you don't believe in labels or you don't define yourself as that, please, whatever you are, or bisexual, either one. And hey, that's okay if that's what you are, but just admit it. But don't go around here lying about these things when most people know that is what you are. So that's where my a big issue of mine is with him. It's not the fact that he is, it's the fact that he won't admit it and claims that he is not. And you have said that you've sucked, a part or two and have had yours done a time or two by another man. I'm sorry, my husband would never, never, say, well, yeah, I had it happen, but I'm not gay. Like, no, he was like, hell no. I've never done that, never will do that. Most straight men, I'm sorry. And that's not saying that they don't like gay people or they hate gay people. It's just say that's not what I am. Because most gay people, let's just be honest, most gay men are like, I don't want a woman at all. No, yuck. Don't that's not what they want. So why is it like that and okay for a gay person to say that they don't want a woman? Some of them call them fish. I don't want fish. And some females who are lesbians don't want a man. Like they say that. But if you're straight and say that you don't want to do those things, there's something wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But with Larry Reid, he doesn't want that label on him because he wants to make money in the church sector. But a lot of the money that he makes in the church sector is from being expository. You're exposing, like you say, stuff that's already out there, but still you're exposing it. So for him to have a Patreon account, things are behind a paywall that you have to pay for to see. I heard people on the Armand Wiggins show that were calling and saying, well, if the receipt is so real, then why can't she just put it out on YouTube? I'm not paying for that. Larry Reid does the same thing. He doesn't put everything out on his YouTube channel. He has it behind a paywall. It's not his own app. It's Patreon. Like the hypocrisy with some of those things that are said is just kind of funny to me, but it is what it is. Some people are not here for Tasha K, so they don't really want to hear what she has to say. What I respected about Armand Wiggins, though, is he didn't just say, I don't like Tasha K, and now she's going for Larry Reid. I'm not here for it. I don't want to hear anything she has to say. I believe Larry Reid 100%. He said, no, I may not rock with Tasha K, and Larry Reid may be what I would, call an associate right now, but I don't know him like that. If he did those things, I can't have anything to do with him. He flat out said it. And I said, you know what? I respect that. So for people who are going to just jump on the Larry Reid bandwagon and say that Tasha K is trash, she was sued by Cardi B, she owes all this money, she needs to worry about Cardi B and not trying to catch another lawsuit, maybe people should just listen to the interviews and wait and see. Because there are definitely questions when it comes to this situation. And even if the guy was right over the legal age, like 12 midnight, he turned whatever the legal age was for that stuff to happen in the state that they were in at the time, which was North Carolina. It's still wrong. It's still wrong because he was the leader of a church, he was married at the time, and he was living a lifestyle undercover. But, so honestly, the people who follow Larry Reid, they're really not that much different from Tasha K because just because you want to get the details, the dirt, the tea that Larry Reid dishes, because let's just be honest, that's what the majority of the people who follow Larry Reid follow him for. Not to get the word, not to be uplifted or whatever. And then if they do, they have itchy ears because they just want to hear what they want to hear. Because if I want the word, which I do, I'm not going to go to Larry Reid's church. Sorry, I'm not. Okay. I'm not going to go to somebody's church who's out here gossiping, and then the next minute, and behind a paywall, Patreon, they're exposing people's sex tapes and sex videos and stuff and pictures and other stuff like that. That's why you have to be 18 plus. It's not because, oh, well, you're underage and you're going to be paying for something. You're paying for an app, so you need to have your parents' permission to make sure that you rightfully can do so. No, it's because that there are times, I should say, that there is explicit content. That's why. That's why. Because if it was just him sharing the word of God, sharing scriptures, uplifting, encouraging, you should be able to be 3 years old if you wanted to and subscribe. I mean, I don't know a 3-year old who would know how to subscribe to Patreon, but hey, a 6-year old just took out their parents' weapon and hurt a teacher, which I'm still trying to figure out how that happened, but that's another, commentary for another time. I'm just saying, Larry Reid, there are questions. And when it comes to Tasha K, she interviewed someone. She said that the receipts are irrefutable. And I heard the phone call, the recorded phone call, because she had a recorded phone call with Larry Reid, giving him the opportunity to speak on this. And he said, I'm not. His right, his right. But she reached out to him. She said, I know that we're not in a place like we used to be before. And here's another question for Larry Reid when it comes to Tasha K, because he was friendly with Armand Wiggins. Armand Wiggins doesn't like Tasha K. He's made it known several times on his YouTube channel. And he's also friends now with Cardi B. Armand told Larry Reid, like, you need to be careful with Tasha K. And Larry Reid, he was like, no, she's cool. I like her. I really feel like you two should speak and yada, yada, yada. The questions are, when it comes to Larry Reid and how he was dealing with Tasha K before they fell out, why was he wanting to get close to Tasha K? Was it because he felt like, if I have her on my side, knowing the background that I have and the skeletons that are in my closet, if I'm in good with her, she'll keep it in there and nothing will be exposed? Because when you have such a platform like he does, when you're exposing other people or talking about what has been exposed, because he says he doesn't put anything out there unless it's already been out, okay, fine. But when you are doing that, you have to make sure your background is squeaky clean. And a lot of people's aren't, not to the extent that we're talking about the stuff that he's been accused of doing, because no one is perfect. But most people can say that they have never done things like that. Okay, most people can say that. But he can't just come out here and say none of it ever happened. The responses, when there are responses, is, oh, well, this is someone that's disgruntled. He got mad because I cut him off. He got mad because I stopped giving him money. Why were you giving him money? There's a question with that, like, what in the world? Okay. um, and just a number of other things. You have to listen to the interview. I'm not going to play any clips of it because, again, this is on her app, so I'm not going to expose the information. But you have the right to choose to pay for it or not. I've seen comments in the comment section of that video. Some people were saying that video alone, and it's just part 1 of 3. They said that video alone was worth the entire year subscription to the app. Someone said that in the comment section, so I'm not lying about that. Everyone is entitled to their opinions. I listened to it yesterday. I'm actually going to listen to it again because I was kind of listening to it passively while I was doing other things. So there's, some things that may have slipped that I didn't really get to listen to intently. So I'm going to listen to it again. And there's a lot of questions when it comes to this situation. But why when he sued Tasha K for interviewing the alleged victim. I don't know if he ever sued the alleged victim for coming out and saying things, but the guy is out here sharing the details of the things that happen, and I don't think that there's anything that Larry Reid can do about it. So it's like, well, you're going to go after the person who interviewed the person, not after the person who's saying you did these things. If it's lies, I would think that's who you would go after, not the person who interviewed the person who allowed them to share their story, because he Tasha K was not sitting there feeding him what to say. He was saying these things. She was just doing the interview. So that to me seems very, very strange. Okay. So I'm just going to wrap it up here, guys. You let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section. I may come back and talk about this more in depth when I listen to it again and maybe after the second part or so. But I would love to know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section respectfully. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing to this channel. And guys, until next time, this is Beth, and I'm just being beautifully honest.